After going to trial in a federal drug trafficking RICO case and being found guilty in September, DC rapper JG Wardy, who is facing a 65-year mandatory minimum prison sentence, is now seeking a new trial after his lawyers claim he was unfairly convicted due to prosecutorial miscues which they say unfairly tainted a jury against the Fox 5 rapper. The rapper's legal team has now filed a motion asking the court to grant him a new trial in a Hail Mary bid to free Wardy, real name Broadus Daniels. Now with the rapper's sentencing delayed, a federal judge will decide if prosecutorial mistakes that potentially tainted the jury pool warrant a completely new trial. Could the Jug Gang / Fox 5 rapper be coming home early and get a reduced prison sentence? A closer look at the public court docket reveals that the rapper's sentencing has now been postponed until March so that a judge can hear arguments from the defense as to why the rapper deserves a retrial. Newly filed documents provide more details. United States District Court for the District of Columbia, United States of America vs. Broadus Daniels, motion for new trial and motion for judgment of acquittal. Defendant, Broadus Daniels, by and through undersigned counsel, does hereby move this court for a new trial. In support thereof, defendant respectfully sets forth as follows. The legal standard: in considering a motion for new trial, a district judge weighs the evidence and evaluates the witness credibility and decides whether a serious miscarriage of justice may have occurred. Argument eliciting testimony that defendant was incarcerated pre-trial was highly prejudicial and could not be cured by instruction to the jury, thereby requiring a new trial. Courts have, with few exceptions, determined that an accused should not be compelled to go to trial in prison or jail clothing because of the possible impairment of the presumption of innocence so basic to the adversary system. The issue herein is not prison clothing, rather, it is identifying defendant as being incarcerated pending trial. The effect is the same. The jury learning that defendant was incarcerated pending trial violates his right to due process. The particular factual context of the highly prejudicial and improper information being brought to the attention of the jury through a direct examination question certainly demonstrates that curing the problem by jury instruction was inadequate. A. The information came from the prosecutor and was not an inadvertent slip of the tongue by a witness. B. The question elicited highly prejudicial information from a major and material witness who had just testified about a vicious criminal activity known as spinning the block. C. Defendant had no means to counter the question. For the reasons set forth herein, defendant pays this honorable court for a new trial. The memo continues, framing the reasons which the rapper should be acquitted on certain charges as well. Motion for judgment of acquittal. The legal standard: a defendant may move for a judgment of acquittal after the close of the evidence or after a jury verdict on the ground that the evidence is insufficient to sustain a conviction. The court must affirm a guilty verdict if, considering the evidence in the light most favorable to the government, it finds that any rational trier of fact could have found the essential elements of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. Count 19 specific language requires an intent to distribute both marijuana and cocaine. The cocaine acquittal establishes that the United States has not established all of the elements necessary for a conviction of count 19. The prosecution must prove all the elements of a criminal offense beyond a reasonable doubt. Estelle v. McGuire. For the foregoing reasons, and for those previously raised, defendant prays this honorable court for judgments of acquittal. Case documents also give insight into Wardy's personal life, including allegedly contentious relationships with both of the mothers of his children, who were both called to testify on the rapper's behalf. Prosecutors allege that Wardy evidence regarding defendant's exercise of coercive control over Janae Barringer. Evidence that defendant destroyed the property of Ms. Barringer's mother, sent Alexis Holmes to attack Ms. Barringer for using defendant's car after he was arrested, and encouraged both a fellow gang member and his own sister to attack Ms. Barringer for disrespecting Raheem Murray, the same Heem whose name is tattooed on defendant's face and present in his Instagram account name, are all relevant to Ms. Barringer's fear of defendant and her motive to lie on his behalf when asked. The United States will offer text messages sent by Daniels from jail exercising coercive control over the actions of both Holmes and Barringer in order to get them to do what he wants them to do. The witness list was a point of contention with Wardy's defense team, with case documents disclosing the full picture. Daniels has also given notice of his intent to call two of his contacts from the music industry, Jordan Ginyard and Christopher Priolo. Ginyard owns a music studio and works as a producer and engineer under the name Mixby23. Priolo is employed as a director and editor of WaxBando films. In addition to Daniels, both Ginyard and Priolo advertise themselves as having worked with numerous DC rappers, including Young Foot Soldier, No Savage, and Gizwap. If either Ginyard or Priolo testifies as to the use of prop guns in the use of rap videos, the United States intends to impeach them by asking if they are aware of the following information. Stephen Metz, aka Young Foot Soldier, stands charged in DC. Superior Court case with first-degree murder while armed, robbery while armed, kidnapping while armed, assault with a dangerous weapon, possession of a firearm during a crime of violence, and carrying a rifle or shotgun. Metz is also charged in DC Superior Court case with robbery while armed, carrying a pistol without a license, and carrying a dangerous weapon. Both Metz and his co-defendant, Keandre Carroll, aka Dre Servin, are members of PDS. Noah Settles, aka No Savage, is currently incarcerated at the Green Rock Correctional Center after having been convicted of discharging a firearm within or at a building or dwelling house and using a firearm in a felony in the Circuit Court for Fairfax County. Virginia Russell Campbell, aka Gizwap, is currently incarcerated at FCI McDowell after having been convicted of unlawful possession of a firearm by a person previously convicted of a crime punishable by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia. Both Campbell and Daniels reference the Fox 5 gang in their rap songs. In addition, the United States will impeach Priolo for his arrest on March 21, 2022, in Manassas, Virginia. In that case, officers responded to a public baseball field and discovered four-wheelers driving on the field without permission. Two men associated with Priolo were standing near an Infiniti sedan, but fled on foot when officers arrived. During a subsequent search of the vehicle, officers recovered a firearm, oxycodone pills, a digital scale, and a pill cutter. Interestingly enough, in this same filing, prosecutors allege that Wardy was caught with the gun used in the No Savage Tyson's Corner shooting. As noted in a prior filing, Daniels was encountered by MPD officers on March 23, 2023, when they responded to a trap house located at 4303 3rd Street, Southeast, in response to a double homicide. Daniels was alone inside the apartment when officers entered to execute a consent search, which resulted in the seizure of a loaded 9mm handgun and numerous other magazines and ammunition. Toolmark analysis confirmed that the seized 9mm handgun was the same handgun used by Settles in the shooting he was convicted for. Could JG Wardy possibly get a new trial after this latest legal maneuvering by his lawyers, or will this be the end of the road for the rapper before he ultimately is sentenced to over 65 years in prison?
His shit, everybody shit woofing in here. Everybody shit woofing in here. This shit woofing. Let me see, bro. Let me see. Damn. God damn. His shit woofing. Let me see. His shit woofing. Young nigga shit. His shit woofing. Young nigga.
Thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, stop bluffing.
Stop bluffing.
Stop bluffing. Stop bluffing.